our site and going to actually preparedguy.com. I've got all kinds of kits that I've posted there over the years that you could go and search. But and I made a list as well of kits and actually some things that I've gotten recently. Suture kit, dental kit. This actually has ways to extract teeth. My wife's a little excited about that one. She loves.
We've got a couple of those.
Here's one.
We even have the staple kits for suturing.
Oh yeah, no, perfect. Even better than suturing. Yeah. Here's one. This is my comms kit. I got all my comms in this plastic ammo box. Right.
Give me an example of a comms, Shane. Give us an example of a comms.
Oh, comms, as in ham radio, two-way radios. I've got it over here. Weather radios. You've got the small. What do you call these things? Family. Yeah, the FRS and GMRS radios. I've got a world radio in here. Shortwave, long wave radios for listening, not for transmitting, but for listening. So that's kind of my comms. It's got batteries in there as well.
That's important if you're bugging in and it's like the whole community is out. You're going to need to have some news, some way to tap into the news, because there's ways that they can get stuff out on the airwaves. And so having a little radio, I can't remember the name. It's called NAI something. What are they called? The radios? It's escaping me right now, but there's a certain kind of weather radio that you can.
Oh, just get. the Noaa weather radios. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
And they pick up the broadcast of the emergencies when they start broadcasting that stuff to let you know and keep you abreast of what's going on.
Yeah. And I, as Scott mentioned, I like to keep these in modules. So if we need to get out quickly, I say, Austin, go grab the comms box, grab this box, everything's in a box so we can grab it fairly quickly. You don't have to gather it up, put it in a bag or put it in a box, save a lot of time that way. Also, something I want to point out, a few things, everyday carry. That's something that I think is also part of kits. So my first everyday carry bag is my business bag, right? It's a bag that I take to work, right? It's just a black business bag. But inside that, I have my other little modules of things I would use every day, little first aid kits, flashlights, compass, all those different types of things in there, other little modules. And then there's the gun bags, right? You can see this one. This is for my ARs. This has my magazine strapped in there. All I have to do is grab it and I'm ready to go. It's already set up. So that's what I'm talking about kits, modules, and all kinds of kits. And I've got even more written down here of the different kits that I think. Let me find my list here real quick. All right, let's see. I've got, of course, bug out, bug in, get home, go bags, inch bag. We haven't even talked about that, Scott. It's an inch. And, that's for me, my inch bag.
Wait. Inch is an acronym.
Yes.
I'm never coming home, right?
Correct.
So that's
that's
not just
kit.
A bug out. That's a bug forever.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a strategic and bug out. Remind people, bugging out is when you have a strategic location you're going to, pre-planned, predetermined, and you have ownership or group ownership with others of that place, because A, you can't go into somebody else's space and expect to be taken care of. B, you can't go to things like the water treatment plant and expect to be able to get water, or somewhere else like that and be able to think you can use resources like the electric company. Because guess what? When something really bad happens, National Guard and other people are going to be coming to take that position. And if you're there, you're going to be looked at as possibly a hostile person trying to take over a resource that's used for all. So you have to have a plan in place. That's my disclaimer, reminder to everyone. Don't think I can bug out and just wander through the wilderness and be okay. There's some parts of the country where if you have the skills, you can live indefinitely off the land. However, if you don't have those skills, you're going to live 3 or 4 days max and die of exposure.
Absolutely. And there's a lot on the internet, a lot online about bug out bags. I think they're baloney. Unless you have, like you say, unless you have a place that's already stocked up and something happens, there's an EMP or something, the vehicles don't work, you got to get there on foot. Okay, then you can have your bug out bag, but you're getting somewhere that's already pre-planned, already pre-stocked. But inch bag, yes, is definitely end of world type of thing, right? Where you're going heavy. My inch bag is my truck, my trailer, my wife's truck, my wife's trailer, my daughter's car, another trailer. I mean, it's going heavy, right?
That's a really big bag.
It's just a kit. Call it a kit.
It's crazy. Module. It's my 80-pound module.
Multiple modules. And then there's the EDC kits. There's my man bag, my MERS, whatever you want to call it. Vehicle bags. We haven't even got into vehicle bags, right? Recovery kits. I always have recovery kits in my off-road vehicles in particular.
What does that mean?
Recovery as in straps for pulling other vehicles out, pulling myself out, winch ropes, shackles, all different types of things that you might need to get your vehicle unstuck or someone else's vehicle unstuck.
So,
and that's something I always have.
So tell us what else. What else should be in a vehicle kit, Shane? Do you have tell us?
Jumper cables, flares, reflectors. Let's see, of course, tools, basic tools or specific tools, depending on your vehicle. I've got shovel. I've got at least a shovel. I've got tracks to put underneath my tires to get unstuck. I've got, let's see what else. I've got 5 gallons of water in there at all times.
We talked about it a little bit earlier.
Air compressors, fire extinguishers, all kinds of things.
We talked about it earlier. If you get stuck, pulled over, dead on this road, you got to be able to get home.
Exactly.
So that a vehicle kit could technically and quite honestly be your get home kit.
Absolutely.
You need to have good shoes. You need to have, if you don't have, let's say you're on the highway coming home from a work and you're in a business suit or something, you're going to want to have a change of clothes. You're going to have boots that can hike, not the loafers or the penny loafers or the business shoes. So some things like that to have in your car kit. I think I actually have, there's these ones you can buy, these emergency lights. They have magnets on them, so you can stick them on the side of your car, and they flash and they twirl and they spin and they do all kinds of different lighting techniques. So having those emergency lights is important too. And if you see the guys that are out on the road and they have the little triangles, the red triangle, emergency triangles, having some of those in your car so that people don't, they can see you easier with reflectors so that they don't crash into you.
At the very least, flares, right? We have flares, reflective vests. We have a small battery bank that's charged and that has a hand crank on it so we can recharge things if the car's dead, right? We also have headlamps, not flashlights, headlamps.
Keep your hands free.
Because anytime you've got a broken down car, you need your hands free. Why am I gonna, I've got a little grip on my phone that I could put it in my mouth and try to point it at the tire while I'm trying to change the tire, but that's just ridiculous. It's not effective. So headlamps, and you can use these in any kits, but lanterns, headlamps, blankets, those are, I kind of look at the basics of things you need. A tourniquet or 10, right? A burn gel, tourniquets, wound packing materials, gauze, those things I think are the must-haves in your first aid kit, especially in a car.
Tire repair as well. You can get some pretty nice tire repair kits. You get a screw in there, you can pull the screw out, you can patch that, air it up with the little air compressor you should have with you, and you're on your way. And there's no emergency, right? That's you're prepared. There's no emergency. Yeah, and then I think last on the list, a little fun little activity is to get a little bag like this, and call this a little EDC kit. Put the things in there that you would miss, that you need. This is a little zipper pouch. You can get these on Amazon. You put multiple things in there, and this will fit. If you wear cargo pants, this will fit the pocket of a cargo pant. If not, maybe in your back pocket. If not, put it in your purse, right? Put it in your man bag, and that's a fun little exercise to practice.
And last but not least, and probably the most obvious because it's something we haven't actually specified, is having a really good knife, a pocket knife, or a.
It goes without saying. Yeah.
Yeah. A flip. Well, people who are listening to this are like, wait a minute, they never said knife. What does that mean?
Knife, or we talk about Swiss Army knife, like a multi-tool or knife. You should always have one of those in your car, in your bag, right? Wherever your kits are, you should have with you. If you can carry it on you, I always carry a knife. Better. Shane always carries a multi-tool. I've always got a multi-tool near me. I've got one in every vehicle. I've got one in my desk for work. But then also things like kid specific, we haven't really gotten into that, or wife specific. If you're on the side of the road and your wife's got to go to the bathroom, if you don't have one of the Jaycos or the urinary devices where she can stand up and keep her pants on and relieve herself, you're going to be holding sheets up trying to protect her or the kids on the side of the road where they have to pee if there's no cover, right?
And if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see this is it's called Go Girl. It's one of the perfect opportunities. It's actually a thing that it's a funnel that the girls fit right where they need to put it, and it funnels the urine right into where they need it to go.
Yeah.
Kind of like what guys
stand
can
up
do.
and pee. It gives you total freedom. Other things like for the kids, like medications, even for the adult, like prescription stuff that you need, make sure you carry it with you. Because if your 1 hour trip turns into 10 hours and you have medications you have to take every 3, you need to have those things with you, especially if they're life-saving medications that you don't think you normally would need. Those should be in your kits that you can take in and out of your car, or however you need to do it. But the kids stuff, like games and things to keep them entertained in the car while you're working on a tire, so that they're not climbing out of the car saying, "Hey, what's going on?" and then they get smacked by someone driving down the road.
Yeah.
Right. Safety measures.
Well, another thing I was going to mention is, I like to work with my hands, and I don't like to usually wear gloves because I like to have calluses. I like to have tough hands. But if you injure your hands in an emergency, it's going to be a hard day. I mean, it's going to affect a lot of things that you should be able to do if you have injured hands. So always have a good pair of leather gloves and use them so you don't hurt yourself in such a really critical situation or critical time.
Yeah. And even though we're not biologists, we recognize that women are different than men. And if you have a go bag or a stay home bag or commitment, you need to be, and you're a woman, you need to have a certain set of things in there. And one of those is things we just talked about with the Go Girls. And then another thing that not a lot of people worry about, and this is if you're going to be bugged out for a little while. If you can't see this is a menstrual cup. This is a menstrual cup for those times of the month where you need to have that taken care of. If you don't have, and this is washable and reusable. And it's a great tool for the ladies. If those that don't, younger girls, my daughters were, when they were younger, before they needed to worry about or could feel comfortable with menstrual cups, we had these pads that they would put in their underwear so that they could have those. And these pads are great for the younger girls for that type of thing. So girls have different, just trust me on
different
this.
needs.
Yeah.
So in other words,
women are different than men.
Yes. In other words, get them involved so they can tell you exactly what they need, what they will need when it hits the fan.
Yeah. Well, it's like my wife is like, she's going to know. Your wife, ladies, you know better than what your men know, right? You're going to know better what to get for your kids. You're going to know better what to get for yourselves. You know you're going to need your hygiene products. You know if you're going to be gone for a long time, you've got to make things change, right? The cup that you just showed, my wife, when we first got married and we started this journey together, and I'm like, hey, here's all my prep stuff, but now that I've got you, we got to look at your prep stuff, what we need to get for you. And she's like, okay, we're going to get the menstrual cups. And she's like, I'm going to use this time so I know how it works. And I'm like, way to go. Not an emergency. Get used to using what you have. Practice with the things you have. Just like practice how to use a knife safely so that you don't cut a thumb off in a disaster, or a finger, or like stab yourself in the ribs for some dumb reason because you're not cutting away and you're cutting towards yourself. Go through and practice these things. Practice the disasters. Practice using the tools as well. And it might be a tool that you're like, oh, this doesn't work for me. Get something else.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think maybe there's been some aversion to some of the 2-hour kits. I think most people think, they assume, I'm gonna have to walk. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to walk out of here. Well, you don't necessarily have to. Make your plans appropriately. Plan to use your vehicle and set it up so that you can be ready to evacuate in a moment's notice.
Yeah.
That make it as easy or whatever works best for you. If a backpack doesn't work, then do something else. Like Scott's saying, use bins. Those work great. They're great for organizing. Just keeping on a shelf, very organized, and keep them where you can access them quickly and easily. Slip them in your vehicle and you're off. And it can be very painless and easy to revisit every 6 months, to clear out the old stuff, put in new, make some changes, revise, realize what doesn't work, and make those adjustments.
Here's something else I kind of want to talk about in terms of kits is like, one of the things I thought about is I have a family and there's 7 of us, 5 kids and my wife and I. And I thought, more often than not, we're probably going to stay together. We'll probably be okay because we'll be together. So I can have a stove. My wife can have a cooking set, whatever. We kind of separated, each person have a little bit of something so that all of us together will have everything. And then I realized, what if we get separated? And what if something happens where my kid is you know, I don't know, the ground opens up and I'm on